Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayasho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jigyasitatmayatharthayo Jigyasitat
Tatma Yatharthyo.
Munirvyasa Suttad Asau Munirvyasa Suttad Asau Hitvedam Nripa Gangayam Hitvedam Hasyatya Adhakuto Bhayam Hasyatya Adhakuto Bhayam. Any volunteers who would like to read the translation?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Translation. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. But material knowledge means ignorance of the knowledge of one's own self. Philosophy means to seek after the right knowledge of one's own self or the knowledge of self-realization. Without self-realization, philosophy is dry speculation or a waste of time and energy. Srimad Bhagavatam gives the right knowledge of one's own self, and by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can get free from material attachment and enter into the kingdom of fearlessness. This material world is fearfulness. Its prisoners are always fearful as within a prison house. In the prison house, no one can violate the jail rules and regulations, and violating the rules means another term for extension of prison life. Similarly, we in this material existence are always fearful. This fearfulness is called anxiety. Everyone in the material life, in all species and varieties of life, is full of anxieties, either by breaking or without breaking the laws of nature. Liberation or mukti means getting relief from these constant anxieties. This is possible only when the anxiety is changed to the devotional service of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the chance to change the quality of anxiety from matter to spirit. This is done in the association of a learned philosopher like the self-realized Shukdev Goswami, the great son of Sri Vyasadeva. Maharaj Parikshit, after receiving warning of his death, took advantage of this opportunity by association with Shukdev Goswami and achieved the desired result. There is a sort of limitation of this reciting and hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam by professional men, and their foolish audience thinks that they will get free from the clutches of material attachment and attain the life of fearlessness. Such imitative hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is a caricature only And one should not be misled by such a performance of Bhagavatam Saptaha undertaken by ridiculously greedy fellows to maintain an establishment of material enjoyment. Hare Krishna. Here, it is surmised that Parikshit Maharaj was lucky enough to get the warning of his death beforehand. Because normally none of us knows what time the death may strike. But he was lucky and he was intelligent enough to take the advantage of this warning, and he spent those 7 days for which he was alive before death in listening to Srimad Bhagavatam from such an exalted bhakt and speaker who was the son of Shukdev, who was the son of Vyasadeva, Shukdev Goswami. Because once one is born into this world, one is a prisoner of different types of anxieties, of mental afflictions, of different types of fears. Because we get so attached to the material world that losing any of the things and losing even, we all know that this life is limited for a limited period only, but the fear of losing this life, we are always anxious. We might lose our material possessions, we might lose this life, and so we are prisoners. And as long as we are prisoners here, we are not free to do anything we want. So, if one is lucky enough to be freed from attachments and to be freed from this material world by not breaking the rules of this material world, by not breaking the rules given by God, not of the material world. Material world has rules which relate only to the material world. We will be again born into the cycle of births and deaths. We cannot be free from the cycle of births and deaths. But by devotedly listening to Srimad Bhagavatam and by leading an exemplary life of understanding Srimad Bhagavatam and by devotion to Shri Krishna, one can be free from the prison, and that is ultimately proceed for mukti and not be born again into the material world again, because this world is a prison basically, and we have to abide by the rules, and the rules do not relate to the material life, they relate to the spiritual life. Hare Krishna, this is what I have understood. Please elaborate.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for nicely reading and sharing. So this shloka we were reading yesterday as well, and devotees were sharing their realizations. So in this particular translation, I'll read once again. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. So here Prabhupada is mentioning how proper knowledge, proper self-knowledge can lead to fearlessness. Otherwise, if we are not having proper knowledge, we'll be fearful, we'll be in anxiety. So people are generally trying to gain knowledge. Like Prabhupada also mentions in the earlier chapter of Bhagavatam, that everybody is questioning, everybody has questions, everybody is trying to gain knowledge. So even the animals have questioned, where am I going to get my food from? They are also trying to get knowledge about that. So everybody is trying to get knowledge. And similarly, human beings also are trying to gain knowledge. And many times they are so much engrossed in gaining material knowledge that actually they are very confident that this material knowledge alone can actually bring happiness, success, and auspiciousness for them. So they are so much engrossed in material knowledge, they have so much faith in the material knowledge that they are ready to challenge and disregard spiritual knowledge. This is actually a big problem. This putting in so much faith in material knowledge and having no faith in spiritual knowledge is the sign and symptom of Kali Yuga, which is going to lead to more and more destruction and devastation. Because whatever problems are being created right now, we don't understand, but actually they are very much related to the material knowledge. The more man is getting, or humans are getting material knowledge, the more they are trying to manipulate with it and actually leading to problems. So Prabhupada starts with this line: material knowledge means ignorance of the knowledge of one's own self. And yesterday so many devotees beautifully mentioned how this is actually ignorance. And the point was being mentioned that how we can actually use the material knowledge in the service of the Lord. So gaining material knowledge is no problem, but sticking with material knowledge actually leads to ignorance. Putting faith in material knowledge, having no faith in spiritual knowledge is useless. And therefore Prabhupada is saying that material knowledge, the basis is I am this body and anything connected to this body is mine. While on the other hand, spiritual knowledge says I am not this body. So this contradiction many times make people to choose one, and most people choose material knowledge and they become big scientists, big philosophers, big educated people, and they have lot of academic qualifications. But about academic qualifications, Kunti Maharani says, Janma Ishwara Shruti Shri. So she says how these are obstacles actually. High birth, lot of opulence, lot of education, and lot of beauty. These are hindrances in the life. So why they are hindrances? Because when you are very much educated, you have a lot of material knowledge, you have no hesitation in in neglecting spiritual knowledge, or even proving that the spiritual knowledge is wrong, which is actually the beginning of your spiritual suicide, which basically means you are delaying, you're opening the doors of going to lower bodily lives. And that can be avoided when one takes spiritual life seriously. And Prabhupada here mentions how it can be done by approaching those who are actually trained. And Sukdev Goswami is actually the one who was being approached by Parikshit Maharaj. Similarly, one should approach such learned personalities. Otherwise, even if we have the right book, let's say Srimad Bhagavatam, but if we are learning from those who are professionals, who are trying to trying to use it for making money. Many times we have Bhagavatam Saptaha and people come and they charge money and then they go home and use that money for maintaining their home. This kind of a professional way of Bhagavatam is not encouraged here by Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is mentioning such means is not going to lead to not going to lead to fearlessness. This is just a caricature Prabhupada is saying, because such people 7 days, 7 nights, you can't understand the whole Bhagavatam in 7 days. First of all, Bhagavatam is a study for the whole life. At least for months and years, people have to invest to learn Bhagavatam. And each and every shloka has to be understood properly, and then one can understand. When they do in 7 days, and it's not wrong to do in 7 days, but the problem comes that people think in 7 days they have become very learned, and these people who are professional reciters, they come and start speaking on the topics of confidential topics of Krishna in Vrindavan with gopis, and all of the topics are actually not understood by the public in a proper way, because 7 days is nothing. So that kind of a Bhagavad Sapta and reading is not encouraged. So if one really wants to understand, then one has to approach somebody like Sukadeva Goswami and hear from them. And that is being currently seen very, very easily. We can hear from those personalities who are highly realized, who have learned from Srila Prabhupada and from his disciples, and who can share. In fact, there are courses and institutions where such training we can get. And when we approach such personalities and learn from them, then Krishna reveals, then actually anxiety goes, then fearlessness comes. Otherwise, we are still in anxiety. We went 7 days, Bhagavad Sapta, came back, but what happened? There's no transformation of the heart. It is just a little bit of an entertainment kind of thing happened that we went there. So if somebody has that inclination that I want to do 7 days Bhagavatam, then one has to use those 7 days in doing a study of Bhagavatam seriously and sincerely, and understanding it from the right sources, and not just jumping into the 10th canto and hearing about Krishna and the gopis. That is not going to be helpful at a premature stage. So one has to be mature for that. All right. Anybody else would like to mention any points from this shloka? Does it make sense what we just shared? Okay. So respecting time, we'll keep moving forward. Who would like to read the next shloka? Okay.
Can
Go ahead. I'm sure you go.
Okay. Iti ragnya upadishya
Iti ragna upadishya
viprajataka kovida
Viprajataka Kovida
labdha pachitaya sarve
Labdha Pachitayah Sarve
pratijagmu swakan grihan.
Prati Jagmo Swakangraha.
Kovida means persons expert in astrology and in performance of birth ceremonies. Okay. Translation. Thus those who were expert in astrological knowledge and in performance of the birth ceremony instructed King Yudhishthir about the future history of his child. Then, being sumptuously remunerated, they all returned to their respective homes. Can you scroll up? Purport. The Vedas are the storehouse of knowledge, both material and spiritual. But such knowledge aims at perfection of self realization. In other words, the Vedas are the guides for the civilized man in every respect. Since human life is the opportunity to get free from all material miseries, it is properly guided by the knowledge of the Vedas in the matters of both material needs and spiritual salvation. The specific intelligent class of men who were devoted to the knowledge of the Vedas were called the Vipras, or the graduates of the Vedic knowledge. There are different branches of knowledge in the Vedas, of which astrology and pathology are two important branches necessary for the common man. So, the intelligent men, generally known as the Brahmanas, took up all the different branches of Vedic knowledge to guide society. Even the Department of Military Education, Dhanurveda, was also taken up by such intelligent men. And the Vipras were also teachers of this section of knowledge, as were Dronacharya, Kripacharya, etc. The word Vipra mentioned herein is significant. There is a little difference between the Vipras and the Brahmanas. The Vipras are those who are expert in karma kanda or fruitive activities, guiding the society towards fulfilling the material necessities of life. Whereas the Brahmanas are expert in spiritual knowledge of transcendence. This department of knowledge is called Jnana Kand, and above this, there is the Upasana Kand. The culmination of Upasana Kand is the devotional service of the Lord Vishnu, and when the Brahmanas achieve perfection, they are called Vaishnavas. Vishnu worship is the highest of the modes of worship. Elevated Brahmanas are Vaishnavas engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And thus, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the science of devotional service, is very dear to the Vaishnavas. And as explained in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is the mature fruit of Vedic knowledge and is superior subject matter above the three khandas, namely Karma, Jnana, and Upasana. Amongst the Karma Kanda experts, the Jataka expert Vipras were good astrologers who could tell all the future history of a born child simply by the astral calculations of the time, Lagna. Such expert Jataka Vipras were present during the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, and his grandfather Maharaj Yudhishthir awarded the Vipras sufficiently with gold, land, villages, grains, and other valuable necessaries of life, which also include cows. There is a need of such Vipras in the social structure, and it is the duty of the state to maintain them comfortably, as designed in the Vedic procedure. Such expert Vipras, being sufficiently paid by the state, could give free service to the people in general, and thus this department of Vedic knowledge could be available for all. Hare Krishna. Can you scroll up to the translation? Haribol, can you scroll up to the translation? So in this purport, or in this translation, it is given that Yudhishthir Maharaj received guidance from those who were expert in astrological knowledge, and also they performed, these experts performed the birth ceremony and gave the future history of his grandchild, Maharaj Parikshit. And following that, he remunerated all these experts, Vipras, and they all returned to their homes. And in this purport, Prabhupada has very elaborately explained for us that how there were various different kinds of intelligent class of men, and these and I actually did not know that there is a difference between Vipras and Brahmanas. So Brahmanas are those who are specifically expert in transcendental knowledge, and Vipras are more expert in more material knowledge or Vedic knowledge. And and they took up these different kinds of knowledges to guide the society. They've given some examples here, such as military education was taken up by Dronacharya, Kripacharya. Similarly, there were astrologers or those who were expert in astrology. And there were also various other branches of the Vedas they were expert in. So the word in the second paragraph, Prabhupada is elaborating on the word Vipra, and he's explaining that there's actually a difference between them. Vipras are those who are expert in karma kanda activities, and they help, by doing all these various karma kandi activities, they help them make progress in their material life. And the Brahmanas were expert in the transcendental knowledge, and this knowledge is called Jnana Kanda. So Vipras for Karma Kanda and Brahmanas for Jnana Kanda. And above this, there is the Upasana Kanda. And the culmination of Upasana Kanda is basically Vaishnavism, or service, devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service of the Lord Vishnu. So when the Brahmanas, when they achieve perfection, they are called Vaishnavas. So, and then Prabhupada goes on to explain that Srimad Bhagavatam is actually even above, is above this, above, Karma Kand, Jnana Kand, and it teaches about, the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And as explained in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's, we read about that, we actually learned that shloka. It's the mature fruit of Vedic knowledge, and because it's tasted by Shukdev Goswami, it becomes even more tastier. And that's why it is a superior subject matter, and it's above the three kandas, namely Karma Kand, Karma, Jnana, and Upasana Kand. And so there's a specific kind of Vipras. In the last paragraph, it is explained. They call these Jataka Vipras, and they were very good astrologers, and they were present at the time of the birth of a child, and they could tell the future history of such of these children. And similarly, they were also present at the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, and they and then they go on. Prabhupada goes on to explain again how these members of the society were actually maintained by the state. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, because he was the emperor at the time, he maintained them nicely by providing for them sufficiently, so that they could live comfortably and they could provide this knowledge to all. Hare Krishna. That's all I have to share. If anyone else wants to please add or correct me, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else would like to mention any points here? Just to summarize, so Prabhupada is explaining there are different categories of people studying the Vedas, those who have graduated studying the Vedas, the sections of the Karma Kandas, and who can help in doing those sacrifices. They are the who will tell? Who are those? Study the Karma Kanda section nicely and can help. They are the Vipras. And those who have done the those who have done the Jnana Kanda nicely, they are the Brahmanas. And then those who do the Upasana Kanda nicely, they can actually those Brahmans can be called as Vaishnavas. And within the Vipras are those who are doing different sections, and one is the Jat Karma. And such Vipras are the ones who are very good astrologers. So they are coming and telling about astrological aspect here. So Prabhupada is mentioning here in the Vipra section astrology and pathology. So I guess the Vedic, the Ved or the doctors, they may be in this category. Ayurvedic. All right. So we'll go to the next shloka. Any volunteers who would like to read? Just to mention, in case the conference call drops off, it might drop off in 5-6 minutes. So then we will connect again. Okay, who would like to get started? Who would like to recite, this shloka? Okay, I'll recite. Sa esha loke vikhyata Parikshit iti yat prabhu. Parikshit
इति प्रभु
Purvam drishtam anudhyayan. Purvam
पूर्वं दृष्टं अनुभवाय
Parikshet nareshvaiha.
परीक्षेत्य
Okay, translation. So his son would become famous in the world as So his son would become famous in the world as Parikshit, examiner, because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his birth. Thus, he would come to constantly contemplate him. I repeat once again. So his son would become famous in the world as Parikshit because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his birth. Thus, he would come to constantly contemplate him. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit, fortunate as he was, got the impression of the Lord even in the womb of his mother, and thus his contemplation on the Lord was constantly with him. Once the impression of the transcendental form of the Lord is fixed in one's mind, one can never forget him in any circumstance. Child Parikshit, after coming out of the womb, was in the habit of examining everyone to see whether he was the same personality whom he first saw in the womb. But no one could be equal to or more attractive than the Lord, and therefore he never accepted anyone. But the Lord was constantly with him by such examination, and thus Maharaj Parikshit was always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord by remembrance. So Parikshit. So what is the word? Parikshit, Pariksha lene wala, examiner. So that's why he's Parikshit, because he's examining each and every person he's meeting. Why? What is he examining? He's examining to see if this person is the same person whom I saw in the womb of my mother. Because that person was so beautiful. who came, and Krishna said, right, thumb size of Krishna, he was there, beautiful, nice description of Krishna was there, how Krishna protected, he's wearing all his crown and everything. And Parikshit saw him at that time. So he's coming out and he's seeing everybody to see who is that person. But he's not able to see and find and identify. But because he's craving for the Lord, so that even though he's separated from the Lord, that separation itself is giving him the presence of the Lord, because Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, following Lord's instructions, chanting Lord's name, and even Lord's separation, all of these are not different than actual presence of the Lord. So that's how he is actually being with the Lord. So let's read the next paragraph. Srila Jiva Goswami remarks in this connection that every child, if given an impression of the Lord from his very childhood, certainly becomes a great devotee of the Lord, like Maharaj Parikshit. One may not be as fortunate as Maharaj Parikshit to have the opportunity to see the Lord in the womb of his mother, but even if he is not so fortunate, he can be made so if the parents of the child desire him to be so. There is a practical example in my personal life in this connection. My father was a pure devotee of the Lord, and when I was only 4 or 5 years old, my father gave me a couple of forms of Radha and Krishna. In a playful manner, I used to worship these deities along with my sister, and I used to imitate the performances of a neighboring temple of Radha Govinda. By constantly visiting this neighboring temple and copying the ceremonies in connection with my own deities of play, I developed natural affinity for the Lord. My father used to observe all the ceremonies befitting my position. Later on, these activities were suspended due to my association with the school and colleges, and I became completely out of practice. But in my youthful days, when I met my spiritual master, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, again I revived my old habit, and same playful deities became my worshipful deities in proper regulation. This was followed up until I left the family connection, and I am pleased that my generous father gave me the first impression, which was developed later into regulative devotional service by his divine grace. Maharaj Prahlad also advised that such impressions of godly relation must be impregnated from the beginning of childhood. Otherwise, one may miss the opportunity of the human form of life, which is very valuable, although it